missed out on this weekend's Arnold Classic Africa 2022, we've got you covered. Take a look.
It really has been a really tough loading. Obviously, building the infrastructure with so many tents has been a really challenge. Getting the landscape of the event right. But I think we got it. We got it spot on because at the moment, the first day we opened up, and I've just seen the absolute smiles and enjoyment on people's faces because there's such a balance between the food courts and the music, but then it comes down to the serious business, and that is competing. And I was inside the Karate South Africa tent just now. You must just see the impact and the amount of youngsters in there. So people must come with the expectancy to be wowed, because at the end of the day, it's not going to be one of those festivals where they're just going to want to leave. They're just going to want to stay.
It's so important on so many levels. We've had a very difficult 2 years where people were indoors, not by choice, but because of the pandemic. We've seen a lot of mental health cases, sadly lost many lives. We've seen a lot of suicides, people taking their own lives. We've seen job losses. People have been so depressed in our city, either clinically or just mentally, psychologically, emotionally. And it's so good to see. We always say community development is our happiness portfolio. It makes people happy, whether through sports, recreation, through the arts, through all forms of entertainment. They are so important to getting us out of that somber mood, back onto the streets. This is a festival, and it represents what Joburg is about. Joburg is a cultural hub. It's a hub of different cultures, different races, religious groups. It's a beautiful place to be, and we've got so much to celebrate, and our people are so colorful themselves. And I'm grateful to community development for starting to get the city going with these types of events to get us out of the house, onto the streets, into our facilities where we can meet and commune again and start to build cohesion in our city again. But it's also important for economic growth. This is a time of economic recovery with the economic decline and job losses that we've seen. We do need to get the economy going, and this is one of the ways. In 2019, when this festival was last held, 46.6 million rands was spent by visitors and participants in this event. So we foresee the same happening this time around, or even more. So it's contributing a lot towards our economy. There's jobs that have been created, people in a nearby informal settlement that are ambassadors and are being given a stipend, being given hope that they too can earn a decent living and not have to only depend on government for their livelihoods.
Events like these here are absolutely aimed at drawing people out and showing them the possibilities of the different sports codes. I mean, after today we're going to be seeing 63 different sports codes, and it will give people an opportunity to participate either in team sports or in individual sports, but to give them an idea of what is available. But I think the greater thing is that it will give people that will come from different parts, different regions, give them the opportunity to see what is available here this weekend and then take it into their communities and go and practice the sport there.
Being post-COVID and running events, and we know how skeptical people are about coming to events and the concerns about the COVID and rules and vaccination and everything like that, we really are happy to see that the ticket sales are well. We've had good ticket sales to the event, especially because we've had a tremendous support from the organisers and the federations with participation. And we know if the participants come, moms and dads and family come with too.
We recognize the need to repair and rebuild our city. And we recognize that as we rebuild and repair, not everything that's broken needs to be thrown away. We will use a lot of what's already in place, and we'll use the gold that the city is known for to put it all together. Now, what that means is that we do have something to work with. We've got facilities, and we may not have all the money in the world to operationalize them or give people access to them, but with the help of the private sector, we can bring those facilities back to life. It's a win-win.
We've got our entire sports and recreation team is here this weekend, and the challenge we've set to them is to go out to each and every region, every recreation center, and see how is it that we can repurpose those recreation centers so that people can be drawn to play these kinds of games that they've seen here, the traditional games, and to just make our centers areas of activity and broaden the basket of events and programs we have in our recreation centers, so we can take it out into the communities, not only for the recreation centers but street games as well. Things like street theater, those are kinds of things that we'd want to encourage.